So just last week, I made about, you'll see here in WAP affiliates, about $2,800 from my very first shadow operating partner. All of this came in the week of January 2nd to the 9th. And I want to share the raw reality of how I actually signed my very first shadow operating client. Because for me, it didn't happen the way most gurus or people tell you it does. There was no special outreach message and no special sales pitch to sign clients. For me, it was a simple conversation that turned into a partnership. So in this video, we're going way back and I'm going to walk you through the journey, the deal, and the 3 key lessons that I would take away and use from this to sign my next shadow operating partner fast. So I stumbled into shadow operating. And the thing about me is my very first partner or client, I pretty much met them on Facebook. Not Instagram, not YouTube like most do. It was actually Facebook. I think he found me through a Facebook group and he pretty much DM'd me asking, about my services with paid ads, marketing, because back then my thing that I sold to businesses was paid ads, copywriting, and marketing, because I knew in the past, paid ads, meta ads, Facebook ads was hot. So I sold that. So he was interested in working with me to run paid ads and, scale up. The issue though is at that time, he had just paid a course seller, a coach, a guru, $10,000 for a course on how to run ads. So he didn't really need me. And he just did the ads himself. And long story short, that did not really work out. So I figured, okay, I've lost his clients, let's move on. Months later, he DM'd me again saying that he lost money on the ads, on the course, the coach, and he's just, broke and needs help. So I told him, hey, why not just do YouTube? You post videos for free on YouTube, you get free leads, they pay you, you make money. And back then, I knew all the top guys in his space were just posting on YouTube. He took my advice, started making videos, and within 3 months, he made like $9,000, which for him was the most he's ever made selling, again, his coaching, his offer, his info, because back then he was just starting out. Brand new coach, new offer, untested, unproven. So for him, posting those videos on YouTube and making back 9 grand was insane. Now, from that 9 grand, I got paid zero, nothing, like nada. But it made me realize that I could probably turn this into a service or some form of a partnership. And just watching him post day by day, consistently showing up on video every single day, it showed me, okay, this guy is committed. So I wonder, what if him and I partner up on some, agreements based on revenue, and we make this happen and go all in? And then all I did was send him a DM, asking for the partnership. In fact, I found the DM here in like this long thread on Facebook DMs. I asked, so with me overseeing the copywriting, marketing, direction, funnels, data, and tracking, improving the overall conversion rates, sales, optimization, market research, Jesus Christ, competitive research, tools, tech, email. And then on your end, you be responsible for creating content and ensuring client get results. And then he said, that sounds awesome. And what I need, I have not been able to focus on fulfillment and getting my clients better and faster results. Is this a rev share model or a upfront type? And I said rev share with the glasses emoji. And he says, that sounds awesome. I'm down. So yeah, my very lengthy paragraph, that was not professional, not smooth, not cool, but it closed them. And yeah, so I got my very first client. And then we hopped on a Zoom call. I shared my screen and walked him through the exact same things here in this text, but actually through a visual. So I think I can show you here on my computer what that looks like. Okay, so I will say this is the more advanced version. So back then it was not as sexy, not as appealing, but similar visuals. So like step 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. He saw this, he loved it. And then I sent him the contract using DocuSign, which is a platform you can use to sign contracts and documents with your partners and clients. So like this, sent, he signs down here, and that's it. Once he signed the contract, it was time to get to work. Because again, as a shadow operator, if he makes no sales, I don't get paid. So let's get to work. I optimized his YouTube content, his titles, his thumbnails, his scripts using AI like Gemini and Claude, etc. I built him a proper funnel to book calls, and I even optimized his sales pitch to close more of those calls. That's why with my very first client, I was able to generate $2,800 from my very first rev share payment. And then the next month was $3,000, but this one kind of like failed, so let's skip that. The real one was actually $5,200 here, then $4,500, then $4,000. All of those payments came from my very first client. Now, here are the 3 key lessons that I would take away from my journey, my lessons, and my failures here, and apply that to get my next client even faster. The first lesson would be that AI is a fucking game changer. And excuse my French, I don't want to curse, but I need to emphasize the importance of AI right now. Now, I'm sure you've heard of all this AI talk on YouTube, Instagram, AI this, AI that, buzzword, whatever. But listen, when used correctly, AI can take a beginner who has no skills, no experience in any field, and make them as good, if not better, than an expert or a veteran. So I myself, I had zero skill or experience growing a channel on YouTube and getting sales from doing that. I am not a designer. I suck at drawing things, so thumbnails for me were a bit like scary. And writing scripts, I don't want to write scripts. Doing content and getting them to buy from you, I didn't know how to do that. But it didn't matter because literal AI, so AI like Gemini, like Claude, like GenSpark, Manus, Nano Banana, these AI tools can take you from a newbie with no experience and no background to getting results for your clients. It is insane. And I think, okay, this is what I think. I think AI should be illegal because there's no way that there's someone who's invested years into courses, coaching, programs to learn a skill, to be good at a skill, and that person can be beaten by a beginner who's using AI to do thumbnails, to do script writing, to create titles and do research. I'm like, that, to me at least, that doesn't seem fair, right? But hey, the world is not fair. It is what it is. And yeah, my lesson would be learn AI and use AI to really help your clients get results, no matter your experience or background. And it's simple. All you really do is you want to find people who are winning with content, with thumbnails, winning with ads, with offers and sales. You take their advice, their videos, their content, their emails, their posts, their courses. You take that, you put that into the AI, have the AI learn for you to then recreate and copy what they're doing for your clients. It is mind-blowing to me how simple and easy that is to do. And the results are just, yeah, I think it should be illegal, but it is what it is, okay? The next lesson would be your age is your experience. So you right now watching this video might be, young, 18, 19, 21, 25, and you're probably thinking these experts, these creators, these influencers won't work with you because you're too young. And that is not true. Here's why. So between myself and my first client, there's an obvious age gap. Though, despite me being younger and my lack of experience, what really sold him is my age. The way it works is that these older experts, they perceive you and just think of you as someone who's born in an era of, technology, AI, and social media. So they just assume that you know how to do content or, funnels and marketing. And the truth is, before partnering with him, I spent most of my days watching videos on YouTube. So vlogs, tutorials, guides, free courses. And the thing is, when you watch enough content, you start to see patterns, titles that work or don't work, thumbnails, scripts, hooks, etc. So even if I didn't really know how to make thumbnails or make scripts that work or, do YouTube, I still knew what a good thumbnail looked like or a title looked like or a script, at least sounds like, or I guess hear it. So yeah, sounds like, etc. And me being young, my age was my experience. So going into the next partnership, I would use my age as my advantage. Now, the third lesson would be that one client can literally change your life. So most people are familiar with the concept of an agency or an SMMA. The issue though is that business model is pretty much dead because for you, you need like 10 plus clients to make good money. So your agency becomes a glorified job where you have 10 bosses who are bossing you around, calling you names, they're arguing, they're shouting, they're angry all the time, they're just being needy girlfriends. It's just so annoying. And for the client, it sucks because they're paying you upfront, $2,000, $5,000 upfront, and there's no guarantee that what you're gonna do is gonna work. So for them, it's risky, and for you, it sucks. You have 10 bosses, 10 clients who are needy, they're just annoying, busy, and it's just a pain in the ass nonsense. But with shadow operating, you go from 10 clients, 10 bosses to just one client and one key partner because they see you as a partner, not as an employee. And because you're on a revenue share agreement, the more you help them, the more you get paid. And that's why at first I was kind of scared to do this because, what if it goes wrong and I don't get paid? But I will say, you find the right client and it all takes care of itself. So yeah, just one. One good client is all you need. But again, 2 clients wouldn't hurt. So I would use these 3 key lessons to land your next client even faster. So that's my story. And as you can see, it got darker outside here. So I think I'm gonna go finish up some work and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share with a friend. And as always, here's to your success. So a toast, boom, woo, let's go.